Okay, brethren, good evening. Welcome to the first webinar of Lion Jahangir Shroff Lodge of Instruction. The Lion Jahangir Shroff, for those who don't know, was the District Grand Master of the District of Bombay. Before Arthur Ernest Graham Gilbert was the District Grand Master. So he was the District Grand Master before I was even a Mason in '91. Not only was he a very strong Mason, but he was also a very uh, keen Mason, but he was also a keen lion. Okay, so he loved his lion as much as he loved his masonry. And as the district grand master, he did a lot of things. He founded the Lions Lodge, which is the last lodge in our district to have been consecrated before the Grand Lodge of India came in. Okay, which is the Lions Lodge. As I see a message that I'm not visible. If I'm not visible, if I'm not audible, please let me know. But according to me, everything is all right. I'm seeing a message that if you type, I can hear you type. I can see you type. Bimal, you cannot hear me. Ankit says that I'm visible and I'm audible. Okay, fine, great. Okay, so it's not my setting problem. Okay. So anyway, coming back to this, if I'm not visible, please look at your settings, Mandar. Ankit, Shri, everybody confirms. Ashley, Derek, everybody confirms that I'm visible. Rohit Pandey says audio video working. So please, the system is somewhere something wrong with your system. Please rectify that. Okay. So coming back about Lion Jahangir Shroff, he was a keen lion. He was a very keen Mason. He was the district grand master of the English Constitution District of Bombay before Gilbert. I have not met him. Okay, so he precedes me in masonry. The Lions Lodge, which he founded and he was one of the consecrating members, then decided to do a lodge of instruction. At that time, when masonry was very active, there used to be lodges of instruction attached to lodges, and there, for example, there used to be Dosa Bhai Badi Lodge of Instruction attached to Lodge Universal Brotherhood. Then there was the Sham, you'll have to mute your mic.
I have to reduce the mic. What I have to do?
You have to mute the mic. You have to go out of your laptop. Stop your laptop.
I've closed my laptop. This is on my wife's phone.
Yeah. No, then your laptop is still on in some way. You have to exit the meeting from the laptop.
Let it be. Let it be.
Okay. So anyway. So coming back, one minute. Okay. So coming back, the Lions Lodge had the Lions Lodge of Instruction, Lion Jahangir Shroff Lodge of Instruction, the Dosa Bhai Badi Lodge of Instruction used to be attached to Universal Brotherhood. And the purpose of a Lodge of Instruction is to instruct the brethren in masonry and in the rituals. So basically, typically what used to happen is that, whenever the lodge had a working, the LOI used to meet. They used to practice all the rituals there in a rehearsal meeting in this, and then they used to have the actual meeting, which was a lodge meeting. So the Lodge of Instruction acted like a extra tuition class, if you want to use that term. So that is really what the Lodge of Instruction was. We have only one LOI in the district, which is the Lion Jahangir Shroff, that is alive and kicking, and has got good membership. And most of the leading brethren in Bombay are members of that Lodge of Instruction. And we do very good ritual working. We are very happy with the way things go there. And we thought that we should start this Masonic series in this Lodge of Instruction, because then it keeps brethren interested, and it gives aspects of masonry. Today's paper is the Masonic career of Rajagopalachari, and unfortunately, the person who researched the paper very right worshipful brother Sham Vadwani from the GLI. He is having technical challenges in coming into the meeting, so I have just put him on hold. So let me see what happens. So without much of this, let's get started. I'll start reading the paper. It's a very interesting paper, and there are many interesting aspects of how masonry was conducted. Okay, so starting with the paper Chakravarti Rajagopalachari, our first Indian Governor General after independence. He was born in 1879 and he lived up to 1972. Indian nationalist leader born near Hosur, was educated in the Central College in Bangalore and at Presidency and Law Colleges in Madras. He was admitted to the bar in 1900. In 1919, he joined the Indian National Congress and became a close associate of Mohandas Gandhi, leader of the Indian independence movement. In 1921, Rajagopalachari was elected General Secretary of the Indian National Congress. Between 1921 and 1942, he was imprisoned 5 times for non-cooperation with the British government. In 1946, after World War II, Rajagopalachari was appointed to the cabinet of the internal government of India, and he served as the first Governor General of India from 1948 to 1950, when India became a republic as we know it. Okay, on 26th of January. He was the Minister of Home Affairs for India, 1950 to 51, Chief Minister of Madras, 52 to 54. Socialist tendencies in the Indian National Congress led him to break away from that and form the Conservative Swatantra Party or the Independent Party in 1959. Okay, so that is a very brief history. I will share my screen and so you know, this is the photograph of Rajagopalachari. This is taken. He was the senior warden of Lodge Salem, and he is a senior warden. He's sitting here. He's the second from the left seated. This I assume was the worshipful master of the lodge at that time. Okay, so this is what. Okay, so coming back to the paper, Rajagopalachari, popularly known as Rajaji or CR, was a great patriot, astute politician, incisive thinker, and one of the great statesmen. A close associate of Mahatma Gandhi, he was an ardent freedom fighter. In his capacity successively as the Chief Minister of Madras, Governor of West Bengal, Home Minister, and the first Indian Governor General of India, he had rendered a human service to our country and has left an indelible imprint on the history of our nation. Rajaji was a prolific writer, and his books on Marcus Aurelius, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Upanishads are still popular. But in the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, he has displayed his imitable special flair for telling stories and applying their morals to the youth of modern India. I am myself, the first books that I read, Ramayana and Mahabharata, were by C. Rajagopalachari, which are printed by the Bharati Vidya Bhavan. They are absolutely cheap, very readable. I mean, he was the then day Devdas Patnaik or what Amish Trivedi are currently trying to do, rewrite history in a modern context. Okay, written originally in Tamil, they were translated into English mainly by Rajaji himself. To have preserved the beauty and spirit of the great original in refined and simple English was and is an achievement of the highest order. See, Rajagopalachari, known to most of us by his great reputation, was indeed a very keen Mason. Okay, we come to the Masonic aspect of it. He was initiated in Lodge Carnatic in 1905. He remained a member of the lodge up to 1914. Okay, details are not available, but it is evident that he must have resigned from the lodge due to matters of personal convenience. The register of Lodge Carnatic shows that he was born in November 1879 and was initiated on 21st October 1905, passed on 20th January 1906, and raised on 17th February 1906. So everything happened within 3-4 months. Although he progressed rapidly, he did not take the Eastern chair in Lodge Carnatic. The Lodge Register number 132 notes his membership from 1905 to 1914 in the Lodge, and also mentions that he was a past master of Lodge 3400, which is the Lodge Salem register. Okay, we now come from Lodge Carnatic, where he was initiated, which was his mother lodge, to Lodge Salem, where he was a founder member. Okay, we come to that part of the history now. The register of Lodge Salem notes that he joined as a founder member on 29 January 1910 and was the first senior warden. Okay, so he was the founder senior warden. Obviously, somebody was the founder master. The lodge register further notes succession on 20th February 1922 from the privileges of member. He was succeeded, that is, he was expelled under Rule 175 of the Book of Constitution, and his suspension by the District Grand Lodge was then recorded on 3rd February 1923. Okay, so that was his Masonic career. He was initiated in 1905 and he stopped being a Mason in 1923. Okay, about 17-18 years he had a Masonic career. His occupation was mentioned, and this is a very interesting part. How he was, how he had to leave Masonry. His occupation was mentioned as a High Court Vakil, and his offices as founder member and senior warden in 1910, master in 1911. So the next year he became the master. IPM in 1912, obviously. He was the treasurer. From the IPM, he became the treasurer in 1913. He was a tiler in 1917. And again, he was a tiler in 1918. So 2 consecutive years, he was a tiler and he went out of the lodge. So he was, very much on the level. He didn't think that being a tiler was below his this. And then in 1919, he was again made the virtual master. And again, IPM in 1920. Okay, so he was twice the virtual master, twice the tiler, the senior warden, founder senior warden, treasurer of the lodge. Okay. He was installed as a master firstly on 27 January 1911. The consecration of the lodge happened in 1910. He was then the second virtual master. And again on 18 January 1919. It is to be noted from the minutes that the installation ceremony on both the times was similar to the one as it is now, except that it was carried out in the 2nd and 3rd degrees. For the part in the 3rd degree was that of the installed master. So in the 3rd degree, the board of installed masters was done, and in the 2nd and the 3rd, like in the 2nd, the master is presented, rules are read, so very much similar to that. Okay, what we do now. The lodge records show that Sri Rajagopalachari had attended all the meetings during his mastership. Okay, I am going to read his his political career during this period, but even then, all the meetings of his mastership he attended in each of the 2 years. After becoming the master, he took up the assignment of the treasurer once and of tiler twice, speaking volumes of his humility and for his devoted dedication to Masonry. Highly educated as he was, much above the average Indian, even at that time, it was surely and completely to be acknowledged that the principles and tenets of Freemasonry were understood, appreciated, and accepted by him, and were ingrained in him as was the blood flowing through his veins. Okay. Next, it is to be noted that even at that time, the minutes note of the charity activity almost every month, and that during each meeting, 2 or 3 ceremonies were carried out. So 2 or 3 ritual workings were being carried out, and charity was being carried out. And the charity aspect has a very, very interesting aspect that is relevant to current times. In the minutes of 4th February 1911, it was resolved to assist from the charity fund and give ₹100 to every poor weaver who had returned to his home in Salem after the general evacuation from plague. Okay, so read this. I'm reading this again. Current context, again very relevant. Okay, in the minutes of 4th February 1911, almost 100 years back, more than 100 years back, it was resolved to assist from the charity fund and give ₹100 to every poor weaver who had returned to his home in Salem after the general evacuation from the plague. So the Spanish plague had been there that time, and evacuation, migrants walking back home. So a lot of people who were weavers, probably they were weavers in Kanchipuram, which was not very far from Salem. And Kanchipuram is known for its silk saris. So I'm assuming that, I'm not sure about it, but they all came back to Salem because they were evacuated from Kanchipuram. And when they came back to Salem, the migrant workers were all given ₹100 each by the lodge. ₹100, brother, was a very large sum in that time. Okay. In the minutes of 1st April 1911, we find a proposal to make repayment of the building fund subscription to Brother R.V. Narayan Iyer. So somebody subscribed to the building fund, probably fell on lean times. So the building fund subscription was given back to that brother. Okay, interesting point. Scholarship has been noted to Miss Flo Marrow in the minutes of 18 November 1911. So a foreign, European, UK national girl, Flo Marrow, was given scholarship. The minutes of 21st June 1919 again record several scholarships. At that time, the monthly dues of the member were ₹3 and the charity contribution was ₹1. So ₹3 of the monthly dues, so ₹36 in a year. Charity contribution 12 rupees, ₹48 was the total expenditure on the lodge. From this amount, which seems very small and meager now. Meetings were then held, which included the cost of the dinner. So at 48 rupees, you had the meeting and the dinner, and of course, that lodge building also had to be maintained because it was an independent lodge in Salem, very small, only one lodge. From the small dues and some voluntary contributions, the Masonic temple at Salem was built and maintained. The land at that time cost a few hundred rupees, but is now worth several crores. Obviously, it must be in central part of Salem. So many details are available in the history of Lodge Carnatic number 2031 under the English Constitution, published on 27th October 1933, and their golden jubilee, and in the minute books of Lodge Salem, that it amazes us to notice and understand the significant role he played in Masonry and in Lodge Salem during the 17 years of his membership. So lots of details have been captured in both the lodges. Okay? And in each year of which he was active and was involved with his innovative, remarkable progress and developments. However, constraint of space does not allow inclusion of many more interesting details made known to us through the sources, therefore, too, for this brief note. It is enough to understand that he was highly respected by his colleagues in Masonry, and he occupied a very special niche in the hearts of the brethren. Okay, we now come to the interesting part. Okay, we now come to an incident which shows his love, respect, admiration, and esteem in which the members of the lodge and others held him at that time. C. Rajagopalachari, as an interpreter and brave freedom fighter, had perhaps disturbed our English rulers due to his brave acts, which could be considered as against the rulers of the land and were thereby against the assurances he had given when he was initiated. Okay, so for the interest of the brother, let me read what those assurances are. Okay, in the charge after initiation, this is the paragraph that is relevant in this at this point of time. As a citizen of the world, the charge after initiation, all of you all know it. As a citizen of the world, I am to enjoin you to be exemplary in the discharge of your civil duties by never proposing or at all countenancing any act that may have a tendency to subvert the peace and good order of society, by paying due obedience to the laws of any state which may for the time being become the place of your residence or afford you its protection, and above all, by never losing sight of the allegiance due to the sovereign of your native land, never losing sight of the allegiance due to the sovereign of your native land, ever remembering that nature has implanted in your breast a sacred and indissoluble attachment towards that country whence you derived your birth and infant nature. Okay, so this is what is there in the charge after initiation. So obviously, he was issued a show cause notice. What was he doing? I mean, what was it that was happening? Just give me a break, brother. I'll just see if there is any message or. Well, I am told that screen has been shared, but we don't see the picture. Okay, I don't know why that has happened, but I mean, I'll share, but I'll try to see it later. I'll continue. Okay. What was it that he was doing during that period? So remember, brother, that this is in 1923. Okay, it was in 1923 that all this happened, and in 1923, what was Rajaji up to in terms of freedom, fighting for the freedom? In 1917, and this is from his biography that I've taken an excerpt, not from the paper. Okay, in 1917, he was elected chairman of the municipality, the Salem municipality, and sorry, in 1917 he was elected chairman of the municipality and served from 1917 to 1919, during which time he was responsible for the election of the first Dalit member of the Salem municipality. So even that time he elected as Dalit member of the Salem. He was advanced in his thinking. Okay, he viewed all men as equal. Okay, in 1917 he defended Indian independence activist P. Varadarajarlu Naidu against charges of sedition. So as a lawyer, he defended him against sedition, and 2 years later participated in the agitations against the Rowlatt Act. Okay, the Rowlatt Act was an act that levied taxes, so he participated in agitations. Rajagopalachari was a close friend of the founder of Swadeshi Steam Navigation Company, V.O. Chidambaram Pillai, as well as greatly admired by Indian independence activities such as Annie Besant and C. Vijay Raghavacharya. Okay, after Mahatma Gandhi joined the Indian independence movement in 1919. Okay, in 1919, brother, it pays to know that he was the Tyler of the Lodge, And in the next year, 1920, he became the virtual master of the lodge. So while he was a tiler, while he was the virtual master, 1919, this is what his political career was. After Mahatma Gandhi joined the Indian independence movement in 1919, Rajagopalachari became one of the followers. He participated in the non-cooperation movement and gave up his law practice. So he gave up his law practice. He gave up his income. Okay, in 1921, 2 years before a Masonic incident. Okay, he was elected to the Congress Working Committee and served as the General Secretary of the party. So he was the General Secretary of the party during that time, before making its first major breakthrough as a leader in 1922. The Indian National Congress session at Gaya very strongly opposed collaboration with colonial administration and participation in the diarchical legislatures established by the Government of India Act 1998. So the Government of India Act tried to get Indians involved into the legislature, and they were Rajaji was against that. Okay, while Gandhiji was in prison, Rajagopalachari led the group of no changers. That means they didn't want to join the British in governing the country. Okay, individuals against contesting elections for the Imperial Legislative Council and other provincial legislative councils, in opposition to the pro-changers. So there were the no changes with the ancients and the modern. You know, history repeats all the time. There were the no changes which Rajagopali led, which they didn't want change, was the ancient. And then there were the pro-changers who wanted to become part of it, who advocated council entry. When the motion was put to vote, so the Indian National Congress put this motion to vote, the no changes, which Rajagopalachari supported, won by 1748 to 890 votes. So almost double the number of votes said no changing. They all went with Rajaji. This resulted in the resignation of important Congress leaders, including Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and C.R. Das, the then president of the Indian National Congress. So, brother, you can see that even in the freedom fighting movement in 1921-22, he led a very active role. He led the No Changes movement, and he won by 2/3 majority. And Nehru and Das resigned. So he was quite active, and obviously this came to the attention of the district grand master. So what happened was that after all this, the Lord Salem received a communication from the district grand lodge in February, March 1923. Okay, so 1919, 1920, 1921, this is happening. Okay, in the Congress, informing of his suspension. So the district grand lodge took a decision, informed the lodge that he has been suspended. Okay, the matter came up for consideration during the lodge meeting. So February, March, they took a decision. Probably the board of general purposes must have met. They must have advised the DGM. The DGM, who is grand secretary, must have district grand secretary must have returned to the lodge. Okay, that is what we assume must have happened. The matter came up for consideration during the lodge meeting on 31st March 1923. Okay, but it was deferred so that the complete papers could be circulated to the brethren. So when the notice came from district, the lodge said, no, we have to circulate all the papers to the brethren. We'll bring it up on the agenda next time. Okay. The matter was then considered by the lodge on 21st April. So March, they deferred it. Next month, April meeting, there it was brought out, and it was decided to appoint a committee of 5 senior brethren to look into the matter from all the aspects and advise if any action was to be taken by the lodge. So typical British policy, in doubt, appointed a committee. Okay, so 5 senior brethren were appointed. They were formed a committee, and the committee was told, please come back with your findings and tell us what we should do as a lodge. At the next meeting, that is April, now we are in May. Okay, at the next meeting, the report of the committee which suggested no action was considered and unanimously accepted. So the committee of 5 senior brethren of the lodge recommended that no action has to be taken. Let the district do whatever it wants to do, but the lodge need not take any action. So Rajaji can continue as a mason. So the lodge supported Rajaji to that extent. So imagine, though the district has given this notice, the lodge is going against the district and supporting Rajaji as a mason. So imagine the love he had amongst his brethren. Okay, and how much was this? The lodge therefore requested the district grand lodge to reconsider the decision in view of the report from the lodge. So district grand lodge says suspend him. Lodge says appoint a committee. Committee comes back and says no, we don't need to take any action. So the lodge writes back to the district saying that no action has to be taken. Committee has told me, please reconsider your view. The district grand lodge did not agree. Okay, because they had already taken the decision. The matter was put up on the agenda, and once again, no action was suggested. So again, now May, it must be June. Okay, once again, in June, no action was suggested. So again, the lodge said no action is necessary. We don't have to expel Rajaji. We don't have to suspend him. Okay. Then in the July meeting, at the meeting of 21st July 1923, Right Worshipful the District Grand Master and 2 district officials attended the meeting. He has the right to attend any meeting, and we had a very recent incident in the last, not too far distant past, where our own DGM had to enter a lodge and attend a meeting, and enter the lodge, discuss the matter, and gave advice to the brethren. So he discussed the matter and gave advice to the brethren. After they left, the brethren proposed to defer the discussion because the Vashul master was not present. But so the Vashul master was not present for that meeting. The district grandmaster came. The Vashul master may have absconded. Okay, I'm just proposing, just assuming here, was not present, but this proposal was voted and lost. Okay, the discussion then continued till very late, but no decision could be taken. So in July, no decision was taken. Okay, now we come to the August meeting. It was decided to present the full correspondence at the next meeting on 18th August 1923. So from February till August, the lodge has dilly-dallied. Okay, they have tried everything to see that Rajaji is not expelled because they held him in high order. The Vashul master gave a ruling to postpone the matter for 3 months, as a lot of canvassing had taken place. So the Vashul master said, no, we'll postpone it for 3 months because a lot of canvassing had taken place. Minds are clouded. So, let us not have anything, postpone it for 3 months. But one member did not agree to that with the ruling. So when the member stood up and said, I don't agree to this ruling, and he proposed immediate consideration of the matter. Okay, he was seconded by another brother. So another brother said, no, we have to listen to what the district grand lodge has said. District grand master has said. The Vashul master did not agree. So the Vashul master agreed to change his ruling, did not agree to change his ruling, and the member did not accept the ruling of the chair. So what did the Vashul master do? The Vashul master retired. Okay, he said, I'm going out of the lodge because I don't agree to these two brethren telling me that they have to listen to the DGM, and the DGM has told us to suspend Rajaji. Okay, so this was the amount of fraternal brotherliness that there was there with for Rajaji. So Vashul master went out of the lodge. Thereafter, the Vashul master retired, and a past master was put in the eastern chair by the Vashul master. So he went out. He appointed a past master in his place, and he went out. The Vashul master was then passed out. The next Vashul master, that is the past master, now the Vashul master, again gave the same ruling. The same ruling was, let us wait for 3 months, let things cool down, let us decide what to do. Okay, he gave the same ruling. Again, the members did not accept. Okay, the Vashul master, now the next Vashul master, appointed another past master to the eastern chair, and he himself also went out of the lodge. This happened, brother, not once, twice, but it happened 5 times. 5 times, Vashul master appointed another past master, that past master appointed another past master. 5 times the eastern chair they appointed, and 5 times it walked out. Thus, for 5 successive occupants, the eastern chair continuously gave the same ruling, and due to the ruling not being accepted, and retired themselves and were passed out. Okay, so 5 brethren passed out. Finally, the remaining brethren found it fit to consider, act, and terminate the membership of Sri Rajagopalachari, and his career as a mason came to end on 18th August 1923 in such a dramatic manner that should go down into the history of masonry, no matter which constitution it is. Okay, further details are not available, and we believe that though Sri Rajagopalachari remained a keen mason at heart, living by the tenets and principles of Freemasonry, he however did not join any lodge again. He became too busy, and he was a governor of West Bengal. He was the first Governor General, so probably he got too busy. Rajaji passed away in 1972 at the age of 93 after a long innings full of courage and conviction, never relenting in his moral and ethical standards at each and every stage of his life. And this brought him great honor, admiration, and esteem forever. He now resides in the hearts of all the brethren who knew him and those who know him through these memoirs. Okay, so brethren, that completes the paper, and able to see it. So this is the paper. I have because of this paper I also went through Rajagopalachari's biography, and I could see what was there, and one of the things that came about was that he was extremely influential. One story that my father has told me, he used to be the governor of West Bengal, and as a governor, you go from dark bungalow to dark bungalow, attending to the business. So this is recorded in his biography by his juniors. So it is said that you should carry 2 candles. Okay, in the evening in the dark bungalow you would have papers of administration, you do the work, and then you would use one candle. There was no electricity at those times, so in one candlelight you would do that. But after he finished his official work, he would shut out the candle, take his personal candle, which he bought from his own money, light it, and then continue to have dinner or read a book, etc. So this was the high ethical standards that Rajaji had, which my father has told me, from which I remember this. I will read one last bit before I throw the floor open for questions. I will read one last bit which I was, when I read the biography of Rajagopalachari, I found it very interesting. This is in 1954. Okay, he has been the past Governor General. He has been the past Governor of West Bengal. India has become a republic in 1950. In 1954, I think he is the Chief Minister of Madras at that time. So Richard Nixon is in the Asia tour. He comes to India, and this is what he's a vice president. Richard Nixon is a vice president, and this is a small excerpt that I'll read. In 1954, during U.S. Vice President Richard Nixon's 19 country Asian tour, he was lectured by Rajagopalachari on the consuming emotional quality of nuclear weapons. Okay, on the consuming emotional quality. So US was nuclear weapons. So Rajagopalachari gave him a talk on the consuming emotional quality of nuclear weapons. The pair discussed spiritual life, particularly reincarnation and predestination, which is karma, predestination. Nixon wrote 3 pages of notes on that day. He wrote 3 pages of notes on that day, recording Rajagopalachari's words. Okay, and in his memoirs, which he published 36 years later, Richard Nixon published his biography 36 years later. He said that the afternoon had such a dramatic effect on me that I used many of his thoughts in my speeches over the next several years. Okay, so this was the influence, this was the depth of knowledge, spiritual knowledge that Rajagopalachari had, and this was the Mason, and this was his story of Masonry, and this is how he Rajagopalachari became a Mason, had a splendid career as a Mason, was suspended in the most dramatic manner. In the records of history, it should go in as a very nice piece of Masonic history of how Brethren of the Lodge held him in such high esteem, held him in such high honor, and therefore, it shows the love and affection he had as a person. And I'm sure that Masonry had a lot to do into his life and this, and he was a Mason at heart and a Mason by the 3 degrees. Okay, so brother, that completes my paper. I will just see if Right Honorable Brother Sham has joined us, and if he has joined us, I will take him in. Sorry, he is not in the meeting. So now the meeting is done, and I'm open for questions. You can type it in the chat window. Suresh Dixit is not able to see others except you. Yes, on Zoom there is a system known as webinar, which is different from meeting. So in a webinar, you can see only the speaker, and you cannot see everybody else. Okay, and that is why you can't see. Okay, so if there is any question, I'm willing to take questions. Meanwhile, if you give me a time, I will try to. Okay, so Shekhar Rao says which rule in the book of Constitution? It is one. Let me see. Sorry, Rule 175, yes. Okay. So Rule 175 of the Book of Constitutions. Yeah, okay. I know that, Shri. So anybody wants to ask me a question, I can, enable that question to be asked. Raise your hand. I can allow you to talk, and you can voice your question. So Srivardhan has got his question. Shri, I have enabled you to talk.
Hi, thanks so much, Brother Venkat, for that talk. It was
No problem.
really interesting. One quick observation: even though Nixon spoke very, very highly of Rajaji in his biography, I wish he had imbibed some of those ethics. In which case, Watergate would never have happened. My question, however, your screen is frozen. Frozen. I don't know if it's at my end or your end. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can
Oh,
hear
sorry.
you.
Okay. My question was in relation to the actual Masonic trial. The lawyer in me would be really curious to go through those papers. Any idea if those are still available in the records of the District Grand Lodge of Madras? Would it be possible to get a copy of?
I will ask Sham. Sorry. Right to Shubhadar Sham Wadhwani. He is my trainee, he trains under me. He runs with me. So I'm sorry, I keep referring him to him by first name. My apologies. I will definitely ask Right to Shubhadar Sham Wadhwani whether we could get copies of that. If it can be, I am sure that he may be having photocopies with him because, when he has done the research and he has gone to Salem and he's, dug out all this, I'm sure he would have taken photocopies which he must be holding it with him. I will ask him and I will see if those can be shared.
Thank you so much.
There is a guidance booklet by UGLE, Conduct of Masonic Proceedings. Okay, so that gives the manner in which it has to be mentioned. Vishwamoni, I'll just activate it. Vishwamoni, you want to talk? Who's Galaxy S10e? I don't know who that is, but yeah, Galaxy S10e. That's what your name is showing up as because you didn't put your name. So I have enabled you to talk. Hello. Hello. Galaxy S10e.
Galaxy probably doesn't know that he's a Galaxy.
Yeah,
Maybe you
because
can
his
ask the
phone is coming
question.
as Galaxy. Put his hand up.
Yeah, can you hear me? I'm Sham
Yeah.
here.
Who is this?
I'm Sham.
Hi, Sham. Hi.
Hi. Okay. I heard the whole speech. Thanks a lot. It was very good. And
Okay.
I have just one or two small.
Okay. Yeah. Hello. I lost you, Sham. Hello.
Has it been accidentally muted again? Because we can't hear him.
No, I can't hear him. Yeah. Sham. Hello. I don't know. I'm sorry. He's been having some technical problem. He said he's on Zoom. I'll take the next question, which is from Kasab. Okay. Kasab, you can talk now. Kasab, your audio can be heard now. Hello.
I think Brother Karsas may be having the same problem which was he having last night, where we couldn't hear him.
I've just pressed unmute myself.
Okay, sure. Okay, good. Yeah, Kasab, we can hear you.
Can I go ahead? One
Yes,
point
you can go ahead.
I want to tell you one thing, Brother Venkatraman, that when you were talking about Lion DGM Jahangir Shroff, Jahangir Shroff, apart from being a DGM, was also an OSM, the Order of the Service to Masonry.
Okay.
And I believe I don't know if I'm right in this, but he probably was the first and only Indian citizen to receive an OSM from Grand Lodge. I'm not very sure of that. Percy Driver said something like that, but I'm not very sure. He's not on the line today. He's not on the meeting today, so he's not there to confirm. But I wanted to just point that out, that he was an OSM as well.
Okay.
Which is a very, very, very very great honor conferred on any Mason.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. You know, Brother Kasaf, before the
Yeah.
meeting, I wanted to be able to uh, read something more about Jahangir Shroff. Unfortunately, I couldn't lay my hands on much material
Okay.
because you know my all my Masonic library is in the office, and I
No worries.
couldn't go to the office. And the books, Masonic books that I have at home are not district history; they are other Masonic books. So I
Yeah.
couldn't this and I couldn't find. But actually, I wanted to talk a little bit more than what I talked about.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Venkatam.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Um,
Also, Brother Venkat and Brother Kersas, for the benefit of the younger Masons, it might be helpful also to expound on the OSM a little bit because so that they understand how big a deal it really is. For example, that at any given point in time, there are only 12 holders of the OSM in the English Constitution. So that is actually very, very impressive what Brother Kersas just informed us of.
Yeah, and the only way only way, if there are already 12 members, I don't think there are 12 members right now, but if there already are 12 members who are OSMs, then it'll just have, then any other aspiring OSM will just have to wait till one of them kicks the bucket.
That's right, sir. But another way of putting it is that Grand Lodge will not appoint any other OSM till such time as that the number reduces from.
We are not in a formal meeting, so I deliberately took that liberty of language.
There is a question from Vishwamohan. Since you mentioned that you have gone through the Rajaji's biography, did you find any Masonic influence in his writings? Vishwa, I went through quite a bit of the websites, Wikipedia included, but I didn't read his own autobiography. So if you know, and obviously these pieces are written by somebody else, so you know there will not be Masonic influences there. But bear in mind that Rajaji was an extremely well-educated person. You know, he was born in a very traditional Tamil Brahmin family, but you know he has done a lot for the Dalits and for the scheduled caste, and there are acts that he has passed. You know, where Dalits could go, like the Chief Minister of Madras, for example, he passed an act where the Dalits could enter temples, you know, during his time, and therefore the Brahmins didn't like him, and then the Dalits always felt he was a Brahmin, so he was neither here nor there, you know, kind of situation. But you know, I have not found any. I have not read it. I have not found any specific. But even if there is, it will be very difficult to know whether the origin was Masonic in origin. If the context is being, what was the inspiration? Because you know, once you are so well read, I mean, these words keep repeating in all kind of you know philosophical books that come out. So sorry that I cannot answer that. Jayaprakash Bhatia is asking who are the other prominent personalities, Masons, Dr. Shreyas Radhakrishnan, yes. Rajendra Prasad, I'm not sure. I don't
Yes,
know.
he
If,
Rajendra was a Mason.
He was.
oh, Rajendra
Rajendra
Prasad.
Prasad was. Venkataman, I'd like to ask one question if I may. Can I?
Sure, of course.
Wasn't Rajaji also related to Mahatma Gandhi? One of their, was the son of one of them was married to the daughter of the other.
That is absolutely correct. In fact, it wasn't. It was Gandhiji's son. Gandhiji's son, who was actually my father's batchmate and very good friend in St. Stephen's College in Delhi, was married to Rajaji's daughter.
Ah, okay. I thought that there was a family connection.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, there's one other question I'd like, but I don't know whether I should.
Oh,
sorry.
Venkat, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, Ram, I can hear
you. Your paper was very well, and what you researched on his political career was correct. I just have 2 or 3 points to add to what you said. One was the weavers. You said weavers are from Salem. Salem is a very big weaving center. Okay, that's one. Second, Rajaji, the first land bought for the temple at Salem. Rajaji, one of the trustees of that. There are 3 trustees, and he's one of the trustees in that. The land was bought in his name, the 3 trustees' name. So that's another thing. And he was actually initiated in Lodge in Chennai, which was started for the Indians, natives. That's what they said, because in those days only the Britishers or the white man could join Freemasonry. and the who's who of Indians are initiates of this lodge, Karnataka. Mr. T.T. Krishnamachari, the former finance minister, the whole royal family of Chettinad, and you name it, from the Madras aristocracy, all of them were initiates of lodge. This, and they celebrated the centenary about in the 90s, and I was going through that souvenir as well. They have mentioned of Rajaji in that, and how this thing, he was a past master of Lord Salem. Okay. Rajaji, as you rightly said, was a very active Freemason. He attended all the meetings whenever he was in Salem, and during his mastership, during his tailor, even when he was a tailor, he attended all the 12 meetings during his thing. So he was actually a very active Freemason, and he really practiced Freemasonry in life. That's all I have to add. Thanks.
Shyam, thank you very much. I'm sorry about these technical glitches that happened.
I should apologize.
Okay, I have asked a few people to turn on their videos, so they can also come on the this, and others can see them, because sometimes you can only hear the voice. So Shyam, you can turn on your video. Kasab, you can turn on your video. Rumi, Shri, Suresh Dixit, if you'll turn on your videos, others can see you.
Brother Venkat,
turn on my video.
Question directly to Brother Shyam.
Yeah, sure, of course.
So I don't know if you heard this earlier when we were asking questions. My question was in relation to the actual Masonic trial.
Those papers, I heard that. I am not. I'm not aware of that. I think possibly those papers should be there, but I don't remember this. I did this. We have written this article almost 25 years back. Okay, and I personally went through all the minutes of Lord Salem. Fortunately, they have the minutes from day one till today meticulously kept up. That's one thing very good. It was due to that I could photocopy the relevant minutes and send it to Brother Madhu Narang, who wrote this article. So that is it. But I don't remember what exactly papers. It's a long time ago. It should be there. I'll try to find out.
If it would be possible, actually, whatever original document copies you have, if you could forward it to Brother Venkat, please, and I'd be very grateful, because as a lawyer, I'm very curious.
I am now in Bombay, but I'll try my best and try to get it from Salem.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Also, I was just wondering, and Brother Venkat, you can also pitch in here, because we, in the sense that the Masonic trial, papers of the Masonic trial would not really be in the lodge records. They'll be in the district records. Am I right?
The district. That's you're absolutely right.
But if you see the minutes, Shyam, there is in the August meeting of 1923, 18th August, there is a text that says that the correspondence was to be circulated to all the members. So obviously there has been some back and forthing. So obviously there would have been
the district general was to be circulated. It should be there. It should be there. Yeah. Right.
So Shyam, if you can turn on your video, others can see you.
I don't want to touch it again. Something goes off.
Okay, but Kasab, Rumi, Shri, and Suresh Dixit, you can enable your videos, and people can see the person.
My video is on. Can you not see me?
No, I cannot see you.
It says it's not on. That's odd. Okay. Well, the only option I have is stop video. I don't know.
Same thing here.
My video is actually on. Let me restart it again. Now it's off. And now it's on. Can you not see me?
No, I cannot.
How odd.
I don't know. I am also not able to.
So you're asking me again to start video, Brother Venkat?
Just start the video, just put it on, let us see what happens.
I've been doing that continuously. And my option shows here as only, where you have the mute and the video button, it's showing as the video is on. I don't know why. It's a little odd.
There is also, okay, I've got two hands that have gone up. Shekhar Rao, I'm allowing you to talk. You can ask your question. Shekhar Rao, your question, please.
Can you hear me? Good evening.
Yes, good evening. We can hear you.
I just wanted to make a comment, very worshipful brother Venkat. The way you have unmuted or you are allowing someone and you're only able to speak. So likewise, I think you will have to enable the video button for someone to start his video.
Yes, I've enabled. I'm asking them to start the video, but there is some glitch. It is not working as intended.
I'm getting the message pop up and I keep accepting it. And then my screen changes from a blank to my video as such, but apparently I'm the only one who can see the video.
Okay. We have Bobby Kalyanwala. Thank you very much. It's an honor to have you, attend our meeting. Yeah, I will enable the audio. You can now talk your question. Bobby, if you talk now, we can hear you. Bobby, you can talk now and we can hear you. Bobby, if you talk now, we can hear you. Shri, we can see you now. Your camera has come on.
Yeah, because I logged out and logged back in. I think there was some technical.
Okay. Some bug in the system.
Yeah, now we can see you. Yeah, I'm able to see also. I mean, Shri and Venkat sir.
So log in and log out, log back in. Suresh Dixit, Rumi Khan, Kasab. Okay, Bobby, can you hear us? Can you talk to us? You can talk. I have enabled audio for you. Okay, while Bobby is figuring out, there are some other questions. Ashley Derrick is asking this question. Was there much conflict between patriotism and Freemasonry in the minds of pre-independence Indian Masons? Any cases of Indians leaving Masonry because of patriotism? I really don't know, Ashley. And I don't want to go into the nationalism aspect of this paper. Okay, so I'm keeping that out of this discussion for time being. And I really don't know. That's the answer. Okay. Rohit Pandey is asking a question. Are there any other actions that he was pursuing as an activist, at an activist fashion, as a reaction to the plague's effect on people? Are there any works that are you are aware of alongside this relief work for the weavers of Salem? So Sham, you should answer this question. Relief work for plague for the weavers of Salem. What else?
Actually, a lodge premises was taken over by the government at that time to house these people who were affected by the plague during the plague. Yeah, so at that time, in fact, we did not have the temple, and the lodge used to meet at the office of another brother who was a member of the lodge during that period, the plague. So that was one thing that happened. The plague, the lodge premises was taken over for some time, and the lodge has been actively contributing charities in various respects, if you go through the minutes, on a regular basis. And that is another thing. And second thing, as you rightly said, during Rajaji's time, there were a number of ceremonies. In 1 year, they had 18 ceremonies done together. So they used to do 2 and 3 ceremonies at a day. We used to meet once a month. But during that time, there were occasions when they had 2 ceremonies and 3 ceremonies. So these are the things I can tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Brethren, we have got 2 minutes to go. Let us charge our columns. We have got 2 minutes to go for 9 o'clock. Please step out, charge your columns, come back with your columns charge. I'll just go and get myself.
You also need to get us into the video, very worshipful brother Venkat. We should be able to see everybody.
This is true, but let's wait for Brother Venkat to come back. He's not there right now.
Let him come back.
You are ever ready with your glass? Today.
So, Brother Shri,
Huh?
As always, the two of us have logged in together.
Logged in together, mane?
Brother Gautam and me.
Oh. That brother Gautam fellow is a fraud. I never see him on screen. He claims to be logged in. Yeah. I never hear him. I never see him. I think you're
brother.
like college. Like college.
Did you hear him?
I claim to be a ghost. I hear you guys. I see you guys, but you guys can't see.
See, this also is not helpful, Gautam, because for all I know, you could have recorded this message and or be synced it over the phone.
Upstanding brother. Upstanding brother.
Brother
You need
Venkat.
to allow us our video.
Yeah, I will. I'll do that. Upstanding brother.
Just activate everyone's screen because they're feeling bad.
No, I cannot. Upstanding brother. Join me for a toast to the absent brother.
Yes,
Upstanding.
yes. Yes to all absent brethren.
To all the absent brethren.
All
Yes
the
to you.
absent brothers.
Yes to you
Absent
also.
Brother, let me just complete two questions. A question is there from Jeff. A question is who leads a Masonic trial against any brother and who sits on the panel. That depends upon what is the nature of the allegation, and the district grand master has this to appoint a panel and go into the Masonic trial. So the procedure for a Masonic trial is very well documented in the booklet, and that is the procedure that gets followed. Basically, the DGM has the powers to direct the trial, form a committee, give the terms of the charge that needs to be examined, and then give the result, and then he of course has to take the ultimate decision. So that is how basically the trial proceeds. Brother Bobby is not here. Brother Bobby,
Yes, Bobby is
part
there.
of several such. Bobby, yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. I said earlier that Jahangir Shroff was a Boy Scout. And he was the senior most Boy Scout in the district. That was one thing that I thought of telling you.
Okay.
Another thing, as far as I know, Sri Rajagopalachari had one son-in-law who was a Parsi gentleman, Mr. Meenu Masani.
Okay.
Meenu Masani was the son of Sir Rustam Masani. Now, I don't know what Sir Rustam Masani, what business he had, but my dad knew Sir Rustam Masani as an acquaintance, not as a friend. That's it. And I must thank you for all the pains that you have taken for doing. You have done quite a bit of research. And
Sham has done the research. I only added a creamy layer on top.
No, you have done so much about his political life.
I mean, one has to embellish it. Just reading the paper will become monotonous. So, Brother Kalyanwala, brother, I'm trying to see how to convert this into a meeting. I'm actually Googling on the other window. If you can Google and tell me, then how to convert a webinar into a meeting.
Okay.
Because if we make it into a meeting, then everybody can see everybody.
Right.
So there must be some way to go about doing it. I don't know how.
DGM was supposed to join, no?
No, DGM has had a personal engagement that has kept him away.
Okay.
So coming back to the
Brother
Masani,
Venkat, sorry to interrupt, but in the navigation panel, just click meetings, and then click the name of the meeting you'd like to convert. Click on webinar and then it will give you the option to convert into a meeting.
The recording is any which way is happening. I can see that on the screen.
Brethren, I am just leaving because I have got to go somewhere.
Okay. Thank you, brother. Thank you
Good
very
night,
much.
sir. Good night. And cheers to everybody.
Good night, brother.
Yes,
Suresh.
thank you, sir. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir.
So brethren, before we all start leaving, we are going to do this regular in the Lodge of Instruction, and we are going to make this into a regular thing. So please look out on WhatsApp for messages. If you have any interesting papers to read, do let me know. I'll set this up for you, and I don't have to be the guy reading the paper all the time. So as long as it's interesting, as long as it is, something that is, thought-provoking, an aspect of masonry that, needs to be highlighted. In this particular paper, for me, the takeaway was that, the brethren of the lodge loved him so much that though there was a strong case for his being suspended because he was going against the British government, the lodge tried everything to defend him. They tried every trick in the book. And on that day, 5, past masters went out of the lodge to see that Rajagopalachari is not suspended, because though they also knew that he's a freedom fighter and all that, and maybe the DJ himself was apologetic, who knows, at that point of time. But that was the love, and that strong a Mason he was, that much love the brethren had for him, and that I think was the most important takeaway of him as a personality, of him as a Mason. Forget the nationalism part of it and all that. Whatever happens is history. Yes, Ashley, you can volunteer for research, definitely.
Sir, a couple of things, Shekhar this side.
Yes.
I suddenly remembered that both Brother Gautam and me have not yet paid the dues of Lodge of Instruction. If you can help us with the total dues, it will be important. We can,
surely. We are now adding we are now, in keeping with the government, we are now adding a COVID-19 surcharge on all.
Which is fine. Which is fine. The second thing,
with the government, you and I can. Sorry, go ahead, Sheikh. Sorry, brother. Go ahead.
Thank you. Second thing is, at least from Lodge St. George, I can see Brother Jeff, who was initiated in January. I do not know if we have Brother Kenny. Then we have new brethren, Brother Ajay Agrawal, as well as a host of other new Masons on the call, who are not yet members of LOI. And since I remember you gave a short introduction of what LOI is all about and what it means to us with respect to not only understanding Masonry, but to for me as a basic Mason, you've taught us so much on as far as ritual working is concerned. I still remember you even teaching me when I was the JD. You taught me how to even hold the wand, for that matter, in the LOI. So it because now obviously we are in literally a virtual world. I don't know for how many months, but the newer Masons, I think we have to get them as members in LOI as well. So I request the newer Masons also to join the LOI as.
Thank you, Shekhar. Thank you very much. There is a question from Kaizad Bhaiya is saying only 9 panelists permitted, Western viewers. Okay, we'll find out. I'm sorry, I thought it would be simple to convert this webinar into a meeting afterwards, but
we'll do a Google Meet then. We can do a Google Meets. Yesterday,
but in Google Meet, everybody keeps interrupting. Nobody mutes his mic. People start presenting and sharing in between.
Absolutely.
Yeah, here you have better control over the paper. People, many brethren don't understand what these controls mean. They don't educate themselves offline. They come here and they experiment. So I didn't want a paper to be not read correctly.
Correct.
And I was thinking that after the webinar is over, we can convert it into a meeting. Let me go and next time when I set it up, I'll see if there are any settings. I will research better before it.
It's on me. I will help you.
Sure. If you can research and tell me how to set it up so that it starts off as a webinar, but then gets converted into a meeting.
And then at various intervals, we could even look at some kind of a interaction by way of a small question or just to understand a poll, a quick poll.
Oh yes, we can do many of that. Question and answer.
So
we
those
can attend.
features we will use it and make it more. It's on me. So just if it's okay, I can pitch in.
Sure, definitely. Ashley Derek is asking a question. Can I volunteer for research? Most certainly, Ashley, you can definitely volunteer. You can take any item of Masonic research paper that you think is interesting, and we would be most happy to have you come and present a paper that can not only be well appreciated but also stand up to scrutiny.
Right. Are we done for the evening, sir?
Yes. Rajesh, do you want to have anything to say? Kaisa, do you have anything to say? Rajesh?
Brother Kaisa is saying more such talks are required, and I agree with him.
Kaisa, Rajesh, I have promoted you. You can talk, Rajesh Pant. Tipton Turkey saying very good night. Good night.
Thank you,
is saying
brethren. It was very, very enjoyable. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
This is that lump in the throat kind of a evening. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Wow, I didn't know that. Thank you.
Really, when I asked the clause, I went to the book of Constitution and all that, and then I was, it was so inspiring. Thank you so much, sir. Have a great evening. Bye bye. Good night.
Just asked a question. Yes, sir. Thanks a ton. We still will learn e-matters. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Shall we close the meeting, brother? If anybody has anything to say for the good of Freemasonry in general, and
or this lodge of
is it the
instruction
third
in
rising?
particular,
Is it the
or
third
this
rising?
lodge of instruction in particular.
Yes.
Is it the third rising?
Yeah. So if anybody has anything to say, this otherwise I will close the lodge.
Happy have we met. Happy may we meet. Happy we part.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming. It was really awesome. I really, liked presenting this paper. When I first got it about 6-8 months back, I said there should be a good opportunity when this paper should be presented. It was a very interesting anecdote of a very, very, senior statesman of our country. I mean, people like Rajaji and Bobby Kalyanwala was mentioning about Minu Masani, but people don't know that Minu Masani, Rajagopalachari, and Murari Vaidya founded the Forum of Free Enterprise, which even today exists and is which promotes capitalist virtues. Many old timers will remember that the Forum of Free Enterprise used to conduct the Nani Palkiwala budget talks in Brabourne Stadium, which was super hit, super sellout. I mean, those days will never come back again. And
Never.
of course, Rajaji then founded the Swatantra Party, which has its offices even now above Vinod Apparels at the Kalagoda Park.
Yeah, it's right next to my office, block away from my office. That's right.
Correct. So that is.
I've actually seen it. You go up the rickety stairs, and
Yes.
there's one rickety board still on the wall.
Correct.
Swatantra Party.
Correct. Jeff George says, Tipton Turkey, thank you very much. Good night. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
sir. It was extremely informative. I look forward to being able to join more such webinars and learn more about our history and also about Masons who have set such a strong example in Libya and such knowledge and teachings. Thank you very much, Jeff. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Kaizad Bhaiya, Minu Masani, politician.
He needs to be joined. He needs to be a member of LOI, brother Jeff. He needs to be become a member of LOI.
Yes, whoever is keen, please become a member of the LOI. The LOI is meant to put more ritual working into Masons, and it will really promote your Masons.
Well, thank you so much, Brother
Thank you.
Venkat. I have a
Bye.
family Zoom call at 9:15. It's a couple of
Okay.
minutes away. So
Bye.
I'll drop off.
Bye,
Thanks,
bye,
sirs.
everybody. I'm ending this meeting
Good
for
night.
everybody. Thank you very much. There are 3
Bye-bye,
questions
everyone.
and answers.
Bye-bye.
For Rajesh Pant says, I have attended Nani Palkiwala talks. Yes, we all have. And let me see something. Let me do something about that also.
One thing is
Bye,
that
everybody.
I don't have to ask you for a lift home.
Yes, Bobby. And I don't have to stop for you somewhere at Mahim station.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. I'm happy you came. I really appreciate your making a sincere effort to come.
No, it was my son who has fixed it up. I
Fantastic.
don't know how to fix it up.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Anyway, that's it.
Thank you.
All the
Good
best.
night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye.